Hello and welcome to my last update ever for The Artist's Way. It's my update for week 12. I finished The Artist's Way. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. Yeah. I'm gonna go through the chapter first that I read and then go through how my week was. The last week, week 12, is recovering a sense of faith. In this final week, it says, we acknowledge the inherently mysterious spiritual heart of creativity. We address the fact that creativity requires receptivity and profound trust, capacities we have developed through our work in this course. We set our creative aims and take a special look at last-minute sabotage. We renew our commitment to the use of the tools. It's funny that it says the last-minute sabotage. I'll get to that after I read through this. Anyways, I talked about trusting. Our resistance to our creativity is a form of self-destruction. And we do this in order to maintain an illusion of control. Each of us has an inner dream that we can unfold if we would just have the courage to admit what it is. I also highlighted the universe will always support an affirmative action. Our truest dream for ourselves is always God's will for us. A quote from Miles Davis. It says, "Do not fear mistakes, there are none." Then the next topic was mystery, and it was talking about creativity, like human life itself begins in darkness. We speak often about ideas as brain children. What we do not realize is that brain children, like all babies, should not be dragged from the creative womb prematurely. And then it talks about how to be creative is to be productive. Hatching idea is a lot like making bread, it says. An idea needs to rise. I really like that analogy of it. And then the next little topic was imagination at play. The experience of creative living argues that hobbies are in fact essential to the joyful life. And another quote is, "It is a paradox of creative recovery that we must get serious about taking ourselves lightly." It is a paradox of creative recovery that we must get serious about taking ourselves lightly. I had to read that a few times the first time. Yeah, and that was talking about learning to play again. And remembering things, there's little quotes, and it's one of them is I had forgotten all about those paintings I did in high school. I loved painting those flats in Drama Tech, etc. We want to do something, but we think it needs to be the right something, by which we mean something important, which I think I definitely do. I think it needs to be the right thing, but what I'm doing is just meaning that it has to be the important thing, but I'm only identifying what's important by what society deems important, not what I identify as important. You're either losing your mind or gaining your soul. Life is meant to be an artist state. That's why we were created. Then the next topic was escape velocity. And it's about, the author writes, "My friend Michelle has a theory born of long and entangled romantic experience. In a nutshell, it goes, when you're going to leave them, they know. This same theory applies to creative recovery. It occurs when you reach what Michelle calls escape velocity. As she puts it, there's this time for blast off, like a NASA space launch, and you're heading for it, then wham, you draw to you the test." The test. Yeah, the test. It's like when you're all set to marry the nice guy, the one who treats you right, and Mr. Poison gets a wind of it and phones you up. The whole trick is to evade the test. We all draw to us the one test that's our total nemesis. Yeah. And then it got a whole heap of examples. You can't be fooled, basically. You're all set to leave the bad job and the boss from hell suddenly gives you your first raise in 5 years. Don't be fooled, don't be fooled, is what it says. Yeah. And then it questions, is it really so sinister as she implies? Do we really draw to us a test? I thought about everything Michelle had told me and I concluded that the answer was yes. And another quote was, one does not discover new lands without consenting to lose sight of the shore for a very long time. I like the way they put that. Yeah. Yeah. Always remember the first rule of magic is self-containment. You must hold your intention within yourself, stoking it with power. Only then will you be able to manifest what you desire. Then it said, make a list. Those friends who will support me, make another list. Those friends who won't. Name your WBs for what they really are. Wet blankets. Wrap yourself in something else. Dry ones. Fluffy heated towels. Do not indulge or tolerate anyone who throws cold water in your direction. Forget good intentions. Forget they didn't mean it. Remember to count your blessings and your toes. Escape velocity requires a sword of steely intention and the shield of self-determination. They will try to get to you. Don't forget that, warns Michelle. Set your goals and set your boundaries. Yeah, and then that was all from the reading section, and then I did my tasks. I did do all the tasks this week, except I literally finished 3 of them. Oh my god, there's like something in my eye. I think I just went like cross-eyed 3 times just then. Anyways, I did like 3 of them just then. But to summarize, I did my artist pages 6 out of the 7 days this week. And the day that I didn't do them was today, Sunday, my last day of the artist way, which I fear was actually maybe a form of self-sabotage. So the story is that this morning my boyfriend arrived back from France, and so I was planning to drive up to the airport to surprise him, because he didn't know that I was coming to the airport, because I also have a lunch for my poppy, and I also get up at 4:30 every morning. So Saturday and Sunday is like my days where I can get up at like 6 or 7. But yesterday I had to get up at that time because I dance on Saturday. Anyways, so it was like, I was kind of like implying, you know, like, can't see you until like maybe Monday or like late afternoon, Sunday, whatever. So his flight lands at 6, so I wanted to get to the airport at 6. So I'm happy waiting, but I'd rather wait than miss it, you know. So that means I have to leave my house at 5, and because I like to take my time to get ready and I have to do my morning pages, I was going to get up at 4, leaving myself half an hour max to do my morning pages and half an hour to have a shower, get changed, take something to eat, get ready, look nice somewhat, you know. My alarm at 4 AM goes off, and I do not even know how. I do not even know how, but it's like I knew it was Sunday, and I knew I was going to pick him up, but I didn't clock that I had to like get out of bed. Like it was almost like I woke up and I was like, oh, what's that noise? Turned it off. Went back to bed. I don't know why, like I assumed it must have been like the middle of the night or something, but of course it was the morning. I don't know what was going through my head. The next minute I know, I wake up and it's light outside. And it was too light, and I was like, oh my god. And I like asked Google, I was like, hey Google, what's the time? And then it was 5:20 AM, so 23 minutes past when I was meant to leave, and I was like, oh my god, help. Like, he's landing in like half an hour. So I got ready quickly and I left like just past 5:30. It was like 5:36, almost 5:40 by the time I left the house. And I didn't even think about my morning pages. Then, you know, picked him up from the airport, then I had breakfast with him, then I got home, chilled for like literally half an hour before I got ready to then go to my grandfather's lunch. Oh my god, I'm not complaining at all, by the way, when I was saying I only had half an hour to like rest. I'm just saying like I only like sat down like for half an hour, and then to leave that a little bit early to come back, get ready for work. And then I had work, and then I've just come back from work, had dinner, and then I did these tasks, and I realized I didn't do my morning pages. So maybe my self-sabotage, like subconsciously, was that I fell back asleep. I don't know how it happened, but yeah, that's my really long story. So yeah. Did I do an artist date? Again, it's like I didn't take the time to go and do a creative task by myself, but I took the time to spend a day by myself and let my artist do things it wanted to do where I was. And surprise, it was at the beach. So I went to the beach Saturday after I had dance, and I like laid in the sun, I went swimming, I went on like a little walk and an adventure, and I just like went wherever I wanted to go, and I was like, you know, curious about things. Like I'm a very like curious person. That sounds kind of like cringe, but like I was like, oh, like I wonder what's beyond that rock. So then I was like looking in the rocks and I saw a crab, and then I was looking at the shells, and then, you know, I was looking around the corner, and then like, oh, what's around that like coastline, like things I was thinking in my head, just like going on a walk and having a look around just because, which I feel like I don't really do that much anymore, and that was kind of nice. And yeah, then what else does it ask? Synchronicities. A random synchronicity. It's my last week of the Artist Way, and my director, the director of my dance studio, has been like stuck in America because she's getting her green card, I believe it's called, so that she doesn't have to like keep reapplying for visas and stuff, I think. Or I don't actually know the logistics of how it works, but when you're in the process of like switching over your like visas and like things to be able to live and work in the country, you can't leave the country, you're not allowed to leave. And she left early last year to get it done, but she's been stuck there all year and it still hasn't been approved or gone through. And I think it's maybe taking longer because there's been so many changes. Well, the president's changed over, and I think there's been like changes in laws for like immigrants and people coming into the country, so it's made it a bit delayed, I think. I actually am really bad with politics and keeping up with it all, so I don't know. Anyways, but she managed to get one like emergency visit to come back because obviously like she has her whole business in Australia that she owns, and she's been away from it. So yeah, anyways, she managed to get one at some point in the year, and she managed to get another one and come back. And when she came back this time, we got a grad dance. Like she did our finale, which makes me so happy because that's like the one thing I wanted, is to do like her choreography as our finale, because every other full-time year has gotten it. And it's funny because like that's related to dance, which is creative. But yes, that was like a random synchronicity because that was kind of like, yeah, just random timing. And then she could only stay for a week, so then she's gone now and she's had to go back to America because that's how long she could get from the visit. But yeah, so that was a synchronicity. And I wrote something else about a synchronicity, I think. What else did I write? I forget. I don't know, but I felt really good on Saturday. I don't know, I felt like, I don't know, something new was coming. And to add something else, I feel like my vision of like how I want to be as a person and like the things I want to do creatively, like my vision is so much clearer for how I want that to look and feel. Yeah, and I feel excited to go and try new things now because it really isn't that deep. Like I don't know, it felt like everything kind of mattered more before. Not in like, not saying it doesn't matter anymore, but like, I don't know, like I feel like I don't care as much what other people think about me doing something new, for example. Like a hobby or a sport that I'd never done before, which I never did in the past because I was like, oh well, you know, there's other kids that are my age who've been doing it their whole lives, like why should I try, type thing, I guess. I don't really know, but we'll see where I end up. Yeah, the only thing I just have left to read is like a little epilogue and stuff part of the book, and then there's like stuff from there's like an appendix which I will read later. So yeah, that's my last update of The Artist's Way. Yeah, I don't know if I'll ever do an update on this ever again, but those are all my updates from week to week. Bye.